Hello and welcome to Oracle Insight. So today's reading is for the fire elementals and we're starting off with Aries. Now Aries, I had intended to shuffle these cards out in front of whilst you're reviewing this, but something went wrong with my camera, so I've just gone ahead and laid the cards. So we're going to get into this reading, which is for the 29th of November through to the 5th of December. Okay. All right, so we've got Jupiter in the current situation or energies of this situation that you are in and moving towards. As I said, Jupiter return and benefit. So it is a time of potential expansion there. There are benefits coming in from work that you have put in previously. Now with the transformation card there in reverse, there seems to be some kind of resistance. This points to more of internal resistance going on. So you might be feeling pulled or tugged in different directions. But Jupiter return is the stronger card. So this is certainly beneficial, positive, because it talks to more expansion and things that you can actually celebrate. So all things positive. Now, so just be mindful if you are self-sabotaging comes to mind. So just be mindful of those tendencies, or, you know, we all get down or things don't look so positive, but turn it around as soon as you can and back on track, all right? And now with the moon, soul, with ascended masters in reverse. Now this position here is what not to do. So given that these cards have shown up, so the moon and soul, that is the stronger energy, and that's talking to you not being too emotional about something. There might be some hidden aspects that you're not quite clear about at the moment, and there's a suggestion here then to take a more structured approach to something. Be more mindful, you know, tick boxes, make sure things are like the T's across, the I's dotted, all right? And with the Ascended Masters, you do have some divine assistance around you should you wish to call upon that. So this is about emotions, not allowing that to be not allowing yourself to be carried away within the emotions. But this is just saying that regardless of that, you do have assistance there should you wish to call upon them. Okay. And with Sun Spirit, now this is talking about what you should do. Now it's interesting, you've got the 1 there and 3 and 7, 1 here with the fire element. So there's a lot of fire here. There's a lot of action, lots of energy and joyous fun. So this is basically saying the sun is talking about that creative spirit. It's talking about that burst of energy, of growth. It would seem that you are moving into a very expansive period of time. Now you do have Jupiter return coming up. Pisces is next year, so it'll be the year after. So what you're doing in this time period is really going to set you up to make the most of what comes when Jupiter actually does return back to your sign. So bear that in mind as you progress through these times currently. But with the joyous fun, that's just encouraging you to be more joyous, have an attitude of gratitude of things. That just expands things even more. And with the Jupiter there, that's just supporting that expansive expansion of joy, of positivity, and that's when it just ensures that whatever abundance comes in of any nature establish itself and also become more of. Okay, and with the Sun Spirit there, you know, that's like number 1, that's beginnings. It can actually also talk to or speak to summer periods. You're really on the doorstep of something big. With the joyous fun, that's just, you might actually connect with new groups, new people that inspire you or introduce you to something new that you're wanting to look into further. And with the fire element and desire, that really is just a reiteration of the sun spirit there. That's talking to you being spark. They've got this spark of passion about you, of forward movement, forward thinking. This can actually be a movement. This card can indicate fast movement. And with the Knight of Swords there, that would speak to quick decisions. There is a time coming up where you're going to have to make some quick decisions on something in order to complete this movement forward, because you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So that's speaking to you moving through I'm actually thinking that is really speaking to, you know, the wheel is moving in your favor, definitely. These cards are really reiterating a bountiful period for yourself. But with the intention here, this is a little bit of the transformation energy here, in that whatever you've been working on, there might be a bit of discouragement there in terms of how it's coming together. You may not be feeling like things are moving as well as they should be. Once again, it's causing a bit of a push-pull. With this fire element desire card, that is the stronger energy. So that is really encouraging you to really continue to light that fire beneath you. Whatever it is that you need to support that, that spark, you're really going to have to employ some of that, because then this will actually help to move through this energy of being a bit stuck. Do you know? Because with these cards, that's currently causing you some issues. If that's not taken care of, then it's going to impede this movement here, and we don't want that, because the Knight of Swords is ready for that to happen. The Wheel of Fortune is ready for it to turn and move you right along. And with the King of Wands, I mean, that is your energy. Got plenty of fire there. There could be somebody you're dealing with actually that might be instrumental in a situation. Just like yourself, may be inclined to being very strong, opinionated, really has that forceful way about them, or the potential there. And this is, with this card, if there is somebody you're dealing with, this is just a heads up for you to be mindful of any kind of exchanges that you might have which could get out of hand. So this card does support you standing your ground. Just be more mindful of how some exchanges might come across if you're actually dealing with somebody of the King of Wands energy and with that fire element card there. So it looks like with the Knight of Swords there too, there could be some communication coming in that's needed, clear something up. And with the Moon and Soul about something being hidden, this could be what you're waiting on to provide that breakthrough for whatever situation it is that you're going through at the moment, trying to develop and trying to build. There you go, releasing 5. That really speaks to me with regards to these internal struggles that you're holding at the moment, encouraging you to allow these positive energies that are really coming in for you, allow them to actually take you along without you resisting or creating some kind of blockage. Okay, whether and it might be something you're not really realizing you're doing, but there is a sense here that some kind of friction, internal friction that's happening, that this angel card is encouraging you to release. That's going to allow you to make the most of the benefits that the Jupiter return wants to shower you with, because there are so many benefits there. And it looks like it's going to be a fun time. But of course you need to be able to support that in terms of being that vehicle to allow those energies to come in and for it to move you along further. All right, Aries, that is the reading that I have for you. I certainly hope that it is beneficial for you in some way. And until we connect again, take care. Hi, and welcome to Oracle Insight. Now, this reading is for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or indeed anyone who is drawn into this reading. So let's start by laying the cards. That goes there. Okay, so the reading is for the, when is this for? For November. November the 29th to the 5th of December. And let's get on with that then. So, now this position here is your current position and moving forward in the very near future. So you've got fire element desire, and that is just clarified by the planning and action in reverse. So that really speaks to me about plans, or you had been working on something, you had been intending something, but it hasn't quite gone the way you had anticipated it would go. There is a kind of a stuck energy here. Now, the fire element is the stronger card. So in this situation, this is really encouraging you to reconnect with that desire, whatever it is that sparks or lights up that fire within you, and to allow it to take you past this kind of stagnation here with the planning and actions. And it could just be that you have tried, but things haven't gone in your favor. If that is the case, this is really speaking to continuing that movement forward, okay? Now, with this 12th house escape in that position, now that position really does talk to what shouldn't be done. And so this is about not burying your head in the sand. This is also with 12th house and Pisces influences, also just making you aware of potential addictions that might come up, or a reliance on something to get you through these times of frustration. So that escapism tendency that can be present with the Piscean energy, this is asking you not to do that. And with the true love energy there too, it could be, given that those two cards have paired up together, that could be encouraging you to really solidify a sense of self-worth. Okay, it's about this could point to somebody coming into, this card could point to a relationship, but I'm getting a sense, given that where it's placed and with the 12th house card, that this is really asking you to connect with that beauty within you, that self-love. It's asking you to develop that. And when that is the case, then the escapism tendencies that might come up with the Piscean influence, you know, that's neutralized, okay? And with your 10th, that says 10th house, the world and people, new supportive connections in reverse. So the 10th house, in that position, that's what you should do. So that really is encouraging you to become more social. That's really asking you to step out into the world. It's about being seen. But it is interesting that you've got that card there, because honestly, I think this is really, I'm getting a sense that you are encouraged to do this. You are encouraged to get things rolling, especially with these cards showing up in that first position about planning and action in reverse and that fire element. These cards are really speaking to you moving on and starting something with more direction. go in a more proactive approach, because this is kind of speaking to you. Possibly have been floating along in life maybe for a bit of time, not whether because things weren't going your way and so you've kind of just allowed things to get away from you, or recently you may have had a tendency to keep yourself isolated. The 10th house is asking you to be more proactive, more interactive, and participate more in your life. It's about getting out there and making those connections, you know, rekindling whatever it is that lights you up. And with that fire element and desire there, that's really a reiteration of those cards as well. And with lunar eclipse here and change with professional assistance. Okay, so this is a really, that's a real heavy hitter in terms of the energy. So there does speak to some very fundamental changes coming up. This is going to be potentially trying for your unquiet testing. So, okay, two sides. So the change could happen in such a way that you're going to require assistance, outside professional assistance from others, whether that's to do with financial, relationship, emotional, you'll know that, but when that time comes. But the lunar eclipse does speak to changes that are not comfortable, that are quite upheaving and can literally change your life around completely. So just be aware that those energies are around you, and this is really asking you to take more control of whatever's going on in your life. There has to be something that's more grounded, something that's more supportive of you. And with this card here, this is about really finding that that stability within yourself first. And when changes do happen, you're going to be in certainly a healthier position to be able to cope with that. So that was the first read. And the second could be that changes that come up, it could actually mean that you will be undergoing some kind of change in your professional life, career. You might make a career move, and it could be into a position where you are actually the one offering assistance to others. Yes, I like that one better. Okay, and with the tarot on the table, you've got Six of Swords, Five of Wands, and the Emperor. So yes, the Five of Wands, you can see here, there's that conflict going on, but I really do see this as a reflection of something more internal. And with the Six of Swords, there is potential movement, there's a change, okay? But I think this is also about you taking control of this change. All right, you're the one that needs to get things moving, get that charge up again, get that flow happening. So you're actually the one that's initiating your movement forward and in a positive way. And because we've got the Emperor there, see, this is certainly what we want for you. There's that stability, that successful outcome, you being out in the world in your own power. Okay, so that's fabulous. That's a fabulous potential to aim for, but it certainly does look to be some things that need to be cleared out firstly. It's quite similar to Aries actually, in some ways, only in some. But let's have a look at this card, angel message. Oh, okay, success. Well, we love that, don't we? Look, success. You've certainly got it within you to deal with whatever things need to be dealt with here, to move through that and to find that success at the end of it. Okay, so this is a time for you to incorporate a bit of that fire elemental, that's you. So you need to draw more of that in, bring that up from within yourself, and then focus it in a positive manner outwards in support of you moving forward towards your success, because it's certainly on the cards for you, okay? All right then, Leo, that is the reading that I have for you. I certainly hope that that benefits you in some way moving forward in these upcoming days. If that is the case, like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I shall connect with you again in another reading. Take care. Hello and welcome to Oracle Insight, Sagittarius, or Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, or indeed anyone who is drawn into this reading. Welcome. So we are going to be looking at the upcoming 7 days, starting from the 29th of November, moving into the 5th of December. All right, let me just get these cards organized and then we can get on with that reading. Interesting that the solar eclipse has come up here, and that's actually coming up within this time period and in your sign nonetheless. Okay, and lastly we'll get some tarot. So the positions on the table, we've got current situation moving forward. That is what not to do. This is what to do. This one is potential outcome. Okay. All right, Eight of Pentacles. And you've got Page of Swords as well. All right, so Sagittarius, cards on the table. You've got water element sensing with an increase, that cycle in reverse. The water element's really talking to being in a sense of flow, going with some changes maybe. You might have an idea of something coming up that's going to require some flexibility. And so that paired up with this increase, it could actually be where you are potentially tightening your belt in terms of finances. There could be some changes ahead which you might make the decision about. It's not something you're being forced into. It's more sense of you making decisions in order to be in a better position. Could also be that in connection with that, there's like taking stock of something, taking stock of things that haven't quite worked out, being in a position to be more in control of that by these decisions that you'll make that will put you in a better stance going forward. And given that the Five of Pentacles is there too, this could definitely be to do with something material. You've been going with the flow with regards to something to do with it. You're going to have to assess, regroup as you move forward. But I'm just looking, this solar eclipse here in revolution, see, this is in a position of what not to do. Talking to change, huge change at that, revolution. So don't revolt, basically. So this is asking you, no big changes. It's more just about going with the flow of things and adjusting things here and there, but there doesn't need to be, I don't know, sell up and leave or completely. It's not that kind of, this is what you shouldn't be doing. If there is something here that needs to be adjusted in terms of your material wealth. Now with the events and travel, that is, if you did in fact have some travel plans, this would indicate that there's potential there for it not to go through. It won't actually be happening as you had anticipated. And this could actually be in connection to here, where you're having to make those choices as to where you focus your finances. Given that these cards are here, this could be there is a delay of some sort potentially, or even it could actually speak to a move as well, like a change of address. So you've got hidden motivations and Saturn returns. So Saturn return, that takes like Saturn takes about 29 years to go around its cycle. So you could be around that age, 28 to 30 or 58, 60. Saturn return, that's a really testing energy. It's not an easy energy, and I'm looking at the fact that Scorpio transform is here in the outcome position. So this is really looking at what's working for you, what you can decide upon to move forward with, and what it is that needs to be let go, acknowledged as having run its course and served its time, and then released. And with the hidden motivations here, with intentions, see, that's talking to you actually looking inside yourself, some self-assessment, self-reflection, figuring out what's important, what's not, and what you're intending to move forward with, and what you're willing to let go of. So that's quite heavy energies there, and a tough ask. But you've got Scorpio transform here and happy success. So now that does speak to some changes happening. There's definitely transformation. There's energies that are requiring you to recognize that this is a time of change and transformation, but it's a positive one, and you've worked hard. You've done the work in order to get to this stage. The changes are not easy, and in connection with that Saturn return, this really is a card of testing. You have been tested with the happy success there. So that obviously that does speak to you actually coming out the other end of that transformation successful and happy in that success. And it's also about, consciousness. It's about you understanding how successful you have been in how you have managed to develop and grow in your life. And with the Eight of Pentacles there, that's talking to the hard work. That's talking to you putting in the efforts in order to get through this. Page of Swords, with the happy success there with consciousness, that really speaks to me, to you actually coming out the other end with a completely different mindset. Something where you have a brand new launching pad to actually regenerate a new way of looking at things, having a new perspective, having that interest, that curiosity about you to see what else is possible for you. So we're going to pull an angel card and see what kind of parting guidance we can get from the angels for you. Energy. Yeah, look, that's like the Scorpio, how there's a transformation going on. That's like you being showered with this new energy that, just like in this card, can you see that? That's synchronistic. Both cards have light being poured into them, look. So that's supporting you in this happy success. There seems to be some really big energetic shifts here. Certain with these cards, but you're certainly in a position to find your way through it successfully, as the cards indicate. And I really like the fact with the Eight of Pentacles here, you've been working at something to improve a situation or yourself. And over here it speaks to you addressing the Five of Pentacles energy, that energy signature of lack of fear consciousness, some kind of restrictions that can be self-imposed. And as I said, with the Page of Swords, see, that's just being presented with that renewed sense of interest and curiosity and excitement about what's possible going forward. So that's wonderful. All right then, Sagittarius, that is the reading I have for you from the 29th of November. I hope it has been beneficial for you, and until I connect with you again, take care.